a pervert or something? Okay. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
Hold on one sec. I just
National Pornographic says it.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15 what?
The whales have a 15-foot penis. I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15 what?
Are you a pervert or something? Okay. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
Hold on one sec. I just
National Pornographic says it.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15 what?
The whales have a 15-foot penis. I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15 what?
Are you a pervert or something? Okay. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
Hold on one sec. I just
National Pornographic says it.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15 what?
The whales have a 15-foot penis. I didn't cut out. You heard me. Google it yourself. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
I'm sorry, Ken. You cut out there. They have a 15
Are
what?
you a pervert or something? Okay. The whales have a 15-foot penis.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? So today we got kind of a surprise call-in show. I didn't do a live stream last night, and I just really wasn't feeling all that well last night. So I decided I'd do a call-in show today, which we don't have any callers right off the bat. But I don't know if any of y'all are planning on going out there trick-or-treating, doing the Halloween thing, going to a party, whatever in the fuck people do for Halloween. Just be safe about it. Be sure to socially distance, wear a mask, and all that kind of stuff. Not to protect yourself, but not only to protect yourself, but to protect yourself as well as, everybody else. So call lines are open if anybody wants to call. Generally, religious people don't like me, so they're probably not immediately watching. But I'm sure that we'll get somebody to call in. Generally, somebody eventually hops in to talk. So let's see. I do. Okay, so Patrick says it's Britain. A second lockdown just got announced here. Oh shit, that sucks there, Patrick. Honestly, if a lockdown were called for here in the U.S., which arguably maybe there should be, I really don't think the current administration would actually do that. I mean, they're pushing everybody to go back to school and everything like that. So it's just so fucking crazy here. Jack Russell says UK going back to lockdown from Thursday, for fuck's sake. Ed Luckenbill says you are a honest preacher. I wouldn't really classify myself as a preacher. I don't think that many atheists out there would classify themselves as preachers. I think that has a very specific connotation to it. So I think what I could do, since we're here and nobody is calling in just yet, I could go ahead and get one of the videos that I was planning on doing last night, because we were going to do questions and I didn't really get a chance to download all the videos that I wanted to download, get them all put into one video, and then let the Skeptic Mafia people look at it. So I've got one here of a guy rambling on, and he brings up some pretty good questions. So we can take a look at that while we're waiting for somebody to call in. It always amazes me that so many people like to talk shit. There's been this one guy on Twitter that has been talking shit all morning to all kinds of people on Twitter. Apparently he's sitting in a deer stand with his son, and he's sitting there on Twitter tweeting at people and shit talking them. Then I'm like, hey, you could call in if you wanted to. We could discuss this kind of shit just, over the phone. And he's like, nah, I'm in a deer stand with my son. that didn't seem to fucking matter like 10 minutes ago when you were bullshitting on Twitter. I find that it takes a lot more time to bullshit on Twitter than it does to take 10 minutes and call somebody on the phone. But, you know, that's just me, I guess. But all right, we got Ed Luckenbill here. We got SCP Time here. We got Jack Russell. Oh, shit. As I was getting that shit downloaded, we got a caller. Caller is calling in. Let's see who we got. Hello, this is Godless Engineer. Who do I got?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. What did you want
How's
to
the
talk
day?
about? Oh, I'm so sorry. I interrupted you. What did you say? Oh shit! It got dropped. Maybe they'll call back in here in a minute. Let's see. Show in folder. All right. Well, that was the quickest call I've ever gotten. Their call dropped or something.
Hey, well,
Okay, sorry. I got this thing going. Let me since we still don't have anybody that's wanting to call in. Let me go over here to response. Let me get things changed up a little bit to match up. All right, so I've widened our open lines to 4 calls in case anybody would like to call in. Nobody has taken me up on my offer today, though.
I don't know why you're.
Huh?
I don't know why you widen the lines when you don't have any.
No. But when I set it up, like I can't change it afterwards. Like I'd set it up with 4 because I was like, I'll open it up so more people can be on call. But apparently, that is not appealing to people. So, okay. I mean, I'm here to talk. If you guys want to call in and talk, y'all just let me know. I want to know if you can prove atheism is wrong, or rather prove atheism or prove theism is correct, which would thereby prove atheism wrong. So, I know a lot of Christians out there think that they can prove atheism's wrong. So I'd really love to hear if you guys have anything to say. So call lines are open, and the number is on the screen right now. It's not on the screen that I'm about to switch to, but I will be sure to keep posting it. Plus, it's in the title of the thing, so I'm sure you guys can figure it out. All right, so here's a video for us to watch while we wait on somebody to call in with some good evidence for God. All right, what do you got there, bud?
hey, what's up, everybody? This your boy right here, the Soapbox, and I'm on Facebook. That's my hangout, and I was getting into a discussion with a person who is an atheist, and he was talking about, if you don't believe, if you believe in it, believe in creation, or you believe in God, you're not intelligent. It's all facts. Evolution is not just a theory; it's a fact, and all this type of stuff. And I was asking him questions, like saying, "Well, how did this occur? How did man occur? Did life come from non-life?"
Okay, well, first off, you have a bit of a problem with the question there. life from non-life or life from inorganic materials. That's a different conversation. That's abiogenesis, not evolution. But I get that because of the fact that religion takes a lot of different concepts and mushes them all together and provides you this nice packaged up explanation for things. I get why you would want to span multiple different subjects, but you have to understand that, like, when you're talking about evolution, stick with evolution. When you're talking about abiogenesis, stick with abiogenesis. And also I would say that I don't consider people instantly dumb or stupid or not intelligent just because they do believe in a God. There's obviously very intelligent people out there that do believe in a God. So I don't think that it's necessarily an indication that you're stupid, but I do think that you're not correctly applying, certain things to certain areas, and so I mean that's just my own personal deal. So let's see what else he's got to say. Hey, call lines are still open. Nobody wants to talk to me. That's fine. I'm here for about an hour and a half, something like that. Y'all can call in if you want to.
Can life come from non-life? Can species change from another species? Can a cat become a dog? And he
Okay, so yes, life can come from non-life. We've got several experiments that show that the building blocks of life can come about naturally. And so while we don't have every single step in that, we do have a pretty good clear path that shows that life arose naturally. Okay. Next is that can species transition into different species? Obviously species can transform into different organisms. This has happened all throughout history. All you got to do is look at the fossil record, and you'll see different species slowly changing over time into other different species. And it doesn't just go from one species to another and then that's it. It's a continuous change in organisms, right? A good example of this is the evolution of whales. I always bring up whales because it's such a visually good example of speciation and how one kind of organism can drastically change into another organism given enough time and enough selection pressures. So whales started off as these land quadrupeds, and then as they moved closer to the water, they started living in water more. They started being shaped by their environment through these different selection pressures. And eventually they came out to be things like dolphins and whales. And so obviously those things can happen. Now, what can't happen is a cat turn into a dog. Okay, so a cat is a very specific organism, right? That's in a very specific like family, genus, and all that. It's described very specifically. That cannot turn into a dog because those are two specifically defined things. Whatever cats turn into next, as far as morphologically goes, it will always still be a cat, right? They will always be cats. They will always be part of that particular, family, right? They'll be a different species, but it'll be they'll look differently. Let's say it'll never be a dog though, because that's just not how it works. It's called the law of monophily. That means that it can't really go outside of its what they're called clades. It can't really go out of that clades. That would be jumping a clade right there, and that can't happen in biology. So when you say things like, can a cat turn into a dog, I don't think that you really understand how evolution works. And so I think that is the crux of your misunderstanding of evolution, and why we find it hard to believe that a God just magically created everything initially. In the various groups that there are now. So, yeah.
also was mentioning that reptiles turn into, they once were dinosaurs. And people say all this kind of outrageous stuff, and they want to look at people that call themselves Christians, or call themselves Christians, or believe in the Bible, and they want to say, you guys are believe in fantasy, and you believe in talking snakes, but you believe in birds came from reptiles.
We believe that birds came from reptiles. I mean, I don't know. I don't, let's see. Or
I think they mean dinosaurs.
well, yeah, it means dinosaurs, but he's calling them reptiles. Well, I mean, so dinosaurs are a group of reptiles, which that would be the land dwelling ones. Those did turn into birds. No, I mean he's thinking of reptiles as they exist now, not like, or he might be thinking about dinosaurs and calling them reptiles. But in any case, that would be correct. That they did develop that way. One good experiment that was actually done that shows how the scales can actually be turned into feathers is that they genetically changed some alligator embryos, and changed how the scales developed, and they ended up developing like these needle-like feathers. And so obviously the scales can definitely turn into feathers given enough time. So we do have another call in the queue right now. So let's hop on over to our call-in show thing. All right. Awesome. This is Godless Engineer. Who is who do I have on the line?
Oh, hey, this is L.
L?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. How you doing?
yeah, from Texas. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's just the lockdown and getting lazy. And so, how are you?
I'm doing pretty
yeah.
good.
Okay, so what? So today I said I think the caption is to prove atheism wrong. It's not usually. Usually you do like Jesus mythicism, right? So this is today.
Well, yeah, I mean, generally I do Jesus mythicism. I mean, we could talk mythicism if you wanted to. I just figured I'd open it up a little bit, not be so specifically, hard pressed on the mythicism point. Because I do several other different, topics here on the channel. So, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you have on your mind, I'm free to talk.
Okay. Oh, okay. I wasn't listening to the previous call, so yeah. So you do agree that atheism means it's a belief, right? Like that's the scholarly definition of atheism, right? It's a belief.
No.
It's a
I
proposition.
reject that. I don't consider atheism to be a belief.
I mean, that's the standard definition that's in Oxford, Cambridge, or Stanford Encyclopedia.
Okay, well, we're
otherwise
not talking about the strict philosophical definition of atheism, which you can define atheism a certain way to where it is this sort of positive belief, but that's not how I use it. Then that's also not how most atheists use it. I use it in the more colloquial sense. So my definition of atheism is a non-belief in a deity. I just simply don't believe in a deity that exists, and I live my life as if a deity doesn't exist.
But that's non-theism, right?
Well, I mean that's atheism. I mean,
non-theism.
No. I'm not going to let you change what label I use to define myself. That is, I don't believe a God to exist, and I have a non-belief in any deities. I just don't have that.
Yeah, but the thing that you're talking about, the non-belief, that is what is called non-theism, right?
Well, yes, but non-theism is the exact same thing as atheism. I mean, if you actually plan out the etymology of atheism, a meaning not or non, and then theism meaning belief in God, no belief in God. That's literally what the word means. So can we just move past this point, and maybe you can give me some kind of argument or evidence for a God to exist?
I mean, that's a very, that's a heck lot of stuff. I mean, God to exist. I mean, what do you, I mean, you said, I mean, that's what I want to when you have a proposition that, when you have a proposition that no God exists, how do you know that, how about there are so many deities in the past, like so many dead religions, right? There were so many pagan religions that got discontinued in the past.
Yeah.
And how do you know that they didn't exist? I mean, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, right? So of course, you can just say, hey, the biblical God or the Quranic God.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You're going really fast here. So,
I'm sorry. Okay,
you're trying. So you asked me, how do I know that those previous gods that we've defined don't exist? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what
Okay.
I start from the definition of atheism, right? Like no God exists. So yeah.
Okay, so the previous gods all have specific definitions, and so for any one specific definition, you can look at the claims of that god. Like if you want to look at Zeus, as far as the claims surrounding him, we for one thing, we don't know whether or not a supernatural exists. You have to provide evidence for that. So until you can provide evidence that the supernatural does exist, then you're kind of shit out of luck there. But as far as like Zeus goes, we know how lightning forms, and it's definitely not because Zeus is throwing lightning bolts. So I mean that's a very simplistic kind of view of like these previous gods and how we know they don't exist. And this applies to any kind of specific God claim that you can think of. It's just that these specific God claims, they all fail to actually predict things that we expect to find in nature. Like if you were to have Zeus in mind for how the world works, you would expect some big white guy in the sky to be throwing lightning bolts at people, right? That's not actually what we find. We have a scientific definition or a scientific evidence for how lightning operates and occurs. So that's one of the avenues that we know that particular definition does not work.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. Zeus was a thunder god, is it? I mean,
but Zeus is lightning.
Oh, lightning god. Okay, because I'm from Indian background, so I'm familiar with the Indian mythology. So, So Zeus. Okay. So, okay, but there are also other gods like not associated with this nature, just not nature worship, right? Like there are. Like in Indian mythology, there is like Indra, who is like the king of all these gods, Like I don't know, in Greek mythology, there is like the king of gods. I thought it was Zeus. And you have to look for the evidences. You have to investigate whether they exist, right? Like you have to, you know what I'm saying, right? I don't know.
Well, okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to what you were talking about. How absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. I feel like you're misapplying that particular concept because, like, I could claim literally anything and use that as a justification for believing in whatever. Like I could believe in a flying dinosaur that roams around the earth, and that's how the sun works. It carries a big ball of light in its stomach, and that's just how it works. You say, well, there's no evidence for that. And then I just come back with, well, absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. Therefore, my giant flying T-Rex in the sky with his sun in his belly is very likely plausible. You see?
No, as long as there is no contradiction. I think there was an exception to that rule. Like,
as long as there's no contradiction. Well, it's amazing how all of a sudden it seems like there's an exception for this particular rule when there wasn't one earlier.
There might. All the logical fallacies, there are also exceptions.
Right, but you understand how I'm saying that if you claim. If somebody makes a claim about something and they don't have any evidence to support it, why should I believe that why should I believe them even though they have no evidence? And you can't just
But
spout
you don't
the
know.
evidence from absence thing.
That's what I'm talking, because there were so many dead religions, right? No one is making claims today about those dead religions, right?
Well, okay. Do you have like a specific argument for the existence of a deity, not just any specific definition of God, just evidence for the supernatural or a deity?
No, I mean, from a Christian standpoint, because I'm I'm kind of religious, but I think, I mean, I believe Christian God exists. But from a Christian standpoint, I can say that just because the Bible says there are no other gods, so I can confidently say there are no. But for an atheist, he has to investigate in other religions. I mean, he has to disprove all other gods, right? I mean, is it making clear?
Well,
or
no, not necessarily. I don't think that atheists have to disprove every single god that has come about. I think that the current widely accepted religions, an atheist can look into those to see if they're convinced by them. But I think that until evidence is provided, then anybody is justified in not holding a particular belief, because then, I mean, when you get into that, then you have to get into like every single wild-haired claim that could be out there. You as a Christian would also have to investigate all of those. I mean, did you personally investigate every single religious claim that has ever popped up before you became Christian?
No, because I find the arguments for Christian God very convincing. So
do you think that
don't have to spend time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I find the arguments for Christian God convincing, and so I don't have to investigate other religions, like the morality, the existence of God, the resurrection, things like that. So that's it.
How do you? Well, sorry to interrupt. How do you know that there's not another religion out there that has better answers for things?
I'm sorry. Can you?
Well, you said that you were convinced by Christianity because of how well it explains things like morality. What if there was another religion out there that better explains it?
Because when I study history, nothing, the spontaneous development of the culture, like the law, science, philosophy, after the birth of Christianity was kind of, it all evolved from Christianity, right? Like the science, philosophy, law, and so that is one thing. Even the modern law, like the whole equality, equality of all human beings, came from Christianity. So
no, it did not. You can't sit there and tell me that. You can't sit there and say that about the Bible. You simply can't. How can you say that that equality comes from the Bible when literally the Bible has God commanding the taking of sexual slaves, as well as giving commandments for how to treat your slaves and how to treat people as differently, value them differently. And I just don't see, with the fact that the Bible definitely supports slavery and the subjugation of other human beings, I definitely see that the Bible does not support equality. It is, and unequivocally does not support equality.
Okay. No. I mean, you are applying presentism. Like the slavery, the biblical slavery was different from, the slavery of the transatlantic slavery.
It doesn't have to be the same thing as the transatlantic slave trade in order for it to be wrong. Any form of slavery is bad. I don't care what kind of flavor you put on it. It still tastes like shit.
Yeah. Okay. For an atheist to say that, how does he know where is that moral standard for an atheism? You can't appeal to law because the law says so, because appealing to the law is a fallacy, right?
What? Well, so yeah, that is what he's asking there, hun. So, I mean, where does that come from in Christianity? I mean, atheism. First of all, atheism does not,
because okay.
Hold on. Atheism does not actually provide a moral foundation. For me personally, hold on. For me personally,
Yeah.
I form my own moral standard, and my moral standard is shaped
Yeah,
by the
sure.
society that I live in. In the society that I live
Yes.
in, slavery is abhorrent. I have grown up with that knowledge that slavery is abhorrent. So to me, slavery is abhorrent. But you take somebody else that grew up in a different society, regardless of the religion that they have, whether or not slavery is abhorrent is going to be wholly dependent on how they were raised.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because you are raised in a Judeo-Christian especially the West.
The American society is totally anti-biblical. All right, everything about American society is anti-biblical. So just keep that in mind.
The Constitution is based on the Bible, right?
No, it is not.
The Declaration, the Roman Law, even the Torah is based on the Torah. There's I can refer you to the website.
The U.S.
Foundation. Constitution
is not based on the Bible. It is antithetical
Yes.
to the Bible. Free speech, one of the founding things that the
It is
United States
Torah.
is built upon, is not found in the Bible whatsoever.
That's what the Constitutional Rights Foundation says. They educate immigrants,
Can you quote me a verse in the Bible where freedom of speech is guaranteed?
If you look at the way, the Hebrews established Israel, the land of Israel based on the Torah, the way the prophets spoke in front of the kings, how they call out when they
if you want to look at the Old Testament for freedom of speech, you're going to be coming up dry there, okay, bud? Because if you look at the Old Testament, you have God that is using his prophets to kill people that speak against him and that disobey him. There's no way that you can find anything in the Old Testament that speaks to freedom of speech or equality or freedom of religion. Where's freedom of religion in the Old Testament?
There is freedom of religion. I think you're an atheist. I think you have your opinion, but that's what. There is a freedom of religion. It doesn't say in the Torah that you have to kill the pagans or I sure it says in the Torah that Israelites when they fall out of Israelite religion or the Hebrew religion, kill them. I think there is somewhere like that, but it doesn't say to kill the pagans just because they are from other religions. Because the Jewish people, when they annexed to the Roman thing, they just live with them side by side, right?
God commanded that the Israelites kill people of other religions. Also, all throughout all of the patriarchs in Israel and Judah in the Old Testament, God regularly punishes them for allowing other religions to practice in their society. So again, I ask, what Bible verse can you cite me that shows God is okay with other religions?
He used, I think in one god, Cyrus, Cyrus the Great, he calls him as my shepherd, I think. He was prophesied, and also Alexander the Great was also prophesied in the Bible. I think the Roman Empire was also, I think it was prophesied.
I don't see how any of this applies to the question that I asked. So we're coming up on...
It says something like, treat your neighbor as yourself or something like that. I don't have any exact words, but, that's what, this is from the Constitutional Foundation that, that it says the English law, the Jewish law that developed the influence, the Roman law, English law, and the Declaration of Independence and Constitution. That's what anyway.
What did you say about the Constitution? I'm sorry, I couldn't understand exactly.
Okay, there's a website called Constitutional Rights Foundation. They educate immigrants about the Constitution and stuff. So that's what they say. Like the Jewish law that developed, influenced the Roman law, English law, and our own Declaration of Independence and Constitution. That's what they say.
Okay, well, also, none of that is actually true. Like I said before, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution is completely antithetical to any kind of ideas that are.
And if you go to, even UK's website, the United Kingdom, the Queen's website, they say that the English law, is based on the equality of, the precepts that all people are equal came from the Ten Commandments. That's what the Queen of UK says.
No. There's no way that all people are equal came from the Ten Commandments, especially considering one of the commandments directly indicates women as being property to be owned. So no, there's no equality in the Ten Commandments. I'm sorry.
Okay, are you saying the Queen of UK is lying? I don't think so. The monarchy of UK. The monarchy of UK. UK. United Kingdom. They say that the English law is developed from the Bible. The English law has an influence on American Constitution, right? So the fact that the UK has all the people are equal, that came from the Ten Commandments. That's
No. What commandment in the Ten Commandments states that all people are equal?
I don't know exact verses. But
why do you bring it up if you don't know? Like, why are you regurgitating things that you've been told without actually verifying?
Okay, no. In says, and man is made in the image of God, right? Like, man and woman are made in the image of God. So it says, it holds that men and women are treated. There is like a Galatians 3:28, I guess. Men, Jew, Greek, slave or free, they are all equal, right? So, that's equality, right? It says it's equal, right?
That's not the Ten Commandments.
Okay.
Okay. We've been going for about 20 minutes, and I really appreciate your call. But I've got two other people in line, and I want to make sure that I get to them too.
Okay.
So, like I said, I appreciate you calling in, but you're just dead wrong on the Constitution and the Bible.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we're about to get to the next caller in line, but I do want to read off some super chats. Uhan Roderick says, "Happy Jesus Ween." Gotta love that resurrected Jew. Uhan also says he needs to learn the way of the squirrel. I know everybody needs to learn the way of the squirrel. We've got to get that out there, man. And then Nicola Tovar became a member. Thank you so much, Nicola. Nicola, yeah, thank you so much for becoming a Skeptic Mafia member. Appreciate you. All right, next caller. Hello, I'm Godless Engineer. Who do I have?
Hello, this is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
All right. I'm not here to prove that God exists.
Oh, okay.
I became an atheist about 2 years ago.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And one of the things I looked at when I was taking my journey was trying to correlate the scientific claims in the Bible with what the actual science says. So one of the things I looked at was radiometric dating.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I looked at was any evidence I could find for a worldwide flood, which there isn't any.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, they have seashells on the top of Mount Everest, but they've got an explanation for that. I mean, India and the Asian continent colliding together is what raised those. And the top of Mount Everest used to be below the sea, but there's a lot of force behind that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well,
yeah.
I mean that's really cool. I actually have a video that I just recorded prior to today's show where I go over some radiometric dating stuff from Genesis Apologetics. So, was there anything else that you looked into?
You know what?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, back when I was a Christian,
mm-hmm.
They used to say that there's no way to know what the lead levels are.
Right.
From the breakdown products of uranium decay. except that the zircon crystals, when they form, they don't include lead. They exclude that lead, but they do include uranium.
Right.
So if you look at the breakdown products, because lead is excluded from those crystals, if you see lead in there, you know that's from the breakdown products. So you can compare the ratios and see how long that zircon crystal has existed.
Yeah. A lot of times creationists will try to twist the radiometric dating methods and use them inappropriately in order to try to invalidate them, but they don't really understand the fact that... Go ahead.
Yes, I used to get that all the time back when I was a Christian. They used to twist that around. And so, you know, the ratios were determined by the rocks, and the rocks are determined by the ratios, is the kind of argument I got.
Yeah.
And which means, you know, which means you can't rely on it for an accurate date, but actually you can, because zircon crystals specifically exclude lead when they form.
Yeah, no.
So you do know you do know the original ratio. It was uranium to 0 lead.
Yeah, exactly. Another good example of that is potassium argon dating, because there's since argon's a gas, it can easily escape like lava flows. And so any argon that you find in those particular samples would be because potassium degraded into argon. So that's I'm glad that you know that. A lot of there are some people out there that don't know that you gotta account for the fact of how these dating methods are used.
Another thing is carbon dating. You know, while the organism is alive, the nitrogen that is being produced by the decay of carbon is carbon-14, is constantly being exchanged with the atmosphere. So when the organism dies, the initial amount of nitrogen is going to be what was in the atmosphere at the time. So if you find excess nitrogen in there, you know it's got to be related to the breakdown of carbon-14 and not from the atmosphere, unless the sample's been contaminated in some way.
Right.
Yeah, but carbon-14 doesn't last very long. That's why they only use it out to like 50,000 years.
Yep. I believe it's after 50,000 years, the reliability kind of goes downhill a little bit, just because there wouldn't be enough there to actually make a good determination on age.
Yeah, but you know, initially I was a young Earth fundamentalist creationist.
Oh, really? Wow.
So yeah,
you kind of fell
the
hard,
most extreme you can get. That was how I was raised, and that's what I believed up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So
until and it took me several years to actually come to the determination I eventually came to.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, after becoming an atheist, did anything like about you change or anything? Because like there's this idea that, you know, atheists become atheists just because they want to sin, or they have these other like they flip because of certain social things. I'm just kind of curious, did anything else like about you change after you became an atheist?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was when I finally realized that what I had always believed wasn't true. It was a big weight off from my mind. Not because I want to sin or anything like that. I came from a kind of toxic background. So I was kind of taught to hate myself because I'm also I've also got gender dysphoria.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm so sorry you were brought up like that.
I was kind of taught to hate myself because of that. So in fact, I used to take a lot of abuse when I was growing up because people thought I was gay, which I kind of swing both ways, but at the time I hadn't formed any kind of orientation. I mean, I was in like the 7th grade at the time. And also I was sexually abused when I was 7.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, it's in the past. In fact, when I talked with my mom about it just before she died, I told her to forgive the guy because he's had a crappy life and he doesn't even know why. But yeah, my dad had a bachelor's degree in theology, and my mom was a registered nurse.
Oh, okay.
And they were missionaries the first 4 years after I was born. We were in Alaska back from 62 through 65, I think. So we were on Kodiak Island during the earthquake of 1964.
Oh, wow.
Anyhow, I gotta turn my sound down. It's distracting me. So I say something to you, and then it comes out through my amplifier.
Oh, yeah. You should be able to just cut it down because you're not hearing anything new.
Yeah, I just turned it down to 0. Anyhow, like I say, I got into the scientific claims. Now, I didn't believe in evolution at the time that I was going through that. I mean, I knew about it, but I had a misunderstanding of it.
Right.
And I've done more research since then into exactly how it works. And if you are a believer and you can still accept evolution, which the way I grew up, evolution was the lie.
Yeah.
It took me a while to accept that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
like I say, my investigations went on for years, but I thought I'd just put this out there to help anyone else that's questioning.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I really appreciate you calling in.
So I'm going to let you go and take those other calls you've got.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. And I hope you have a good day, safe Halloween, and I hope you have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye. Okay, before we get to our next caller, we did have Drew's Book Reviews. He said, I would call in on my work phone so I don't have to pay long distance charges, but all of my work calls are recorded. Anyway, hello, Godless Engineer KC. Hi there, Drew. It's been a while, man. It's nice to see you in the chat there, dude. And then we got Ashwini Kumar, who became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. All right, let's get to our next caller. Hi, this is Godless Engineer. Who do I got?
Yeah, this is Kent Hovind. I'm just calling in because I guess I'm kind of tired of hearing about all these evolution things. Okay? So I think you remember me, don't you, GE?
Yeah, I do. You famously like whale dick.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I think that a whale, of course, as you know, has a 15-foot penis. Okay, Did you hear me that time? Need me to say it again? So the whale, it has. You're a pervert, so I think you heard me the first time. Yeah, I'm trying to help.
I didn't get that, Ken. What did you say?
I'm not entirely sure what you're. I'm not entirely sure what you're laughing at. Because evolution, it's a tremendous lie from Satan. Okay? And you and previous caller were going on and on about radiocarbon dating, but you don't have the foggiest clue. Okay? Because when it comes to radiocarbon dating, there's water and otters. Okay? And I'm here to help.
Yeah, the water.
I mean, I suppose you can make fun of me all you want, okay? So whales do have a 15-foot penis, okay? And you're a pervert, so.
Then why do you constantly bring it up there, Kent?
Oh well, this is one of the things that atheists like to do. Okay, they like to talk about penises. Okay, but here's this picture of my wife. Okay, so yeah, here to help.
Okay. do you
Look, I'm
have
gonna let you get back to your. I'm gonna let you get back to your show, okay? Because my time is very valuable. Okay? You haven't paid me anything to be on this call, so I'm gonna go ahead and go and let you get back to your evolution, okay? But just remember, GE, I'm here to help, okay?
Okay, there, kid. Thank you so much for calling in. I do know that was Dr. Josh Bowen from Digital Hammurabi. Oh man, my face hurts from that. All right, well, we've got all the lines open. If you guys want to call in, we still have $75 in our account here on this call-in show, so please do call in. If you have any kind of evidence for God or Jesus or 15-foot whale dicks, either way. Oh man, Josh does a really good impression of Kent Hovind. Oh, Josh is Kent for Halloween? Oh, he did. Yeah, he did, didn't he? That would be. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to put on like a Kent Hovind Halloween costume. You just need those big fucking rimmed glasses, and then a Hawaiian shirt or something like that, and then just totally deny about that kid that drowned at his park. Yeah, that was a really, really good one. So let me. The phone number is right there on the screen in the title, and I just put it in the chat. If you want to call in with your best Kent Hovind or Ken Ham or any other creationist impression, please do. That's going to be the highlight of the show. What's this? They got this thing where I can add a stream marker, and so I just did that. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that'll do, but we'll just have to see. All right. Let's see. Until we get another caller in, I guess we can go back to the video. I don't know. I don't know who's going to top it, but I'd love to hear more people call in and tell me how the Bible is the basis for the U.S. Constitution. That was kind of fun and new.
And they say all kind of crazy stuff, and they think it's not a faith. That they don't have to have faith. Just because somebody says something with a white coat on, and they put a PhD behind their name, they act like it's all good.
Well, no, I mean we don't actually act like it's all good. I mean, it's not because of the person that says it that we trust that it's true. It's because of evidence that we think that it's true. And I see the box girl in the chat saying God is real. Definitely call in there, the box girl. I'd love to hear what your argument is for God being real. That would be awesome to hear. So if you want to call in, please do. So yeah, atheists don't have to have any kind of faith because, we're not the ones making a claim in this particular area. we're not making the claim. Most atheists are not making the claim that God doesn't exist, right? We're not making a positive claim about anything. We're just saying that we don't believe a God to exist. And it's a subtle difference there, but it's very specific. And so he has to be the one to prove that God exists. And if you don't have proof that something exists, then you are working off of faith. Kent Hovind official says I can do a good Ken Ham impersonation. Fucking let's hear it there. I mean, call. I don't know if you're stateside, but fucking call in, people. Let's do it. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, so we don't have to prove anything. We don't have faith. It doesn't take faith to be an atheist. It just takes you being unconvinced of the current evidence.
And it's amazing. Science has now become the new religion. It really has. And experts are now the new priesthood.
How are... I mean, I guess I just really don't understand this, how science has become our new religion. I mean, if we were worshiping science in some kind of way, I could understand him saying that, but it feels like this particular rhetoric is just meant to be like adversarial. Like it's only there to make somebody have an emotional reaction to it, like to be mad about it. So it just screams to me that he just wants to offend people. And I would love for him to prove how science is a religion. And I don't think that he could do that, at least not with any kind of reasonable definition of what a religion is.
And people fall for this stuff. And my question is to atheists, if you're an atheist, why are you trying to convince other people to be like you?
Well, let's just fucking turn that right back around on you there, bud. Let me back up a little bit here. Whee! Oh shit. Oh, let's turn that around on you. Why do Christians have to work so hard to get other people to believe in the same shit that they do? Why are there street preachers? You don't see atheists out there on the corners of the street holding up a sign that says, "Hey, God don't exist, quit believing in him, dipshit." You know, I mean, there are people that pose next to people that are doing that and say various things. But yeah, I really don't see atheists out there being the one that's forcing other people to believe as they do. They just respond to people that have bad information, and so they're providing them with the alternative to whatever stuff that they're saying, which let's see. We got another caller in the queue, so let me hop back over here to the call-in show. All right, let's see, who do we got? Hi, this is Godless Engineer. Who do I got?
This is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
How's it going?
Going pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Me and David wanted to say hi to everybody. I don't know if you can hear him in the background.
Oh, yeah, I can hear David.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Hi there, David. How you doing?
Say hi.
Throw me off. I got my TV going with the thing in case my phone messes up again. And then I can listen on there. So if there's starting to be a lag or whatever, that's why. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody, see how they're all doing. Me and David are getting ready to go trick-or-treating here in a little bit.
Oh,
just
yeah?
got
You all
done
going
carving a pumpkin.
trick-or-treating?
Yep.
Okay. Now, be sure to wear your
Where are you
masks,
going?
okay?
Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully there's some places that are giving out candy. They said where I live at, it's starting at 4 and all that, but I don't see anybody with anything set out to give out candy. So we'll see. I'm just gonna go to a few places and see who's giving out candy and go to places that I know versus just knocking on random doors.
Yeah. Well, I know we're dressing up tonight, and we're actually going to go and see The Nightmare Before Christmas. We like rented out a theater. They have a special going on or something like that, and so we've got a bunch of our family. We're all going to go and watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only just jumped onto your live stream and all that, so I didn't hear like what previous conversations were yet. But I was gonna tell I didn't even get a chance to get into the chat and say hi to my friends over here and all that stuff. So we were kind of hanging out.
Okay, cool.
So I was just gonna say hi to everybody. Maybe
for
get
anybody
over in
that
the
doesn't
chats
know
a little
this,
bit and talk to them.
Yeah. This is Daniel M. In the Skeptic Mafia. If you guys don't know who Daniel M is, so thank you so much for calling in there, Daniel. I know everybody's excited to hear from you.
Yeah, we're doing fairly well now. So just this past couple days, I decided to try to go back to school for my mechanical engineering degree. It said on there that that's one of the more diverse of the engineering degrees you can get.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be pretty good. So hopefully I could get some financial aid for that.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a pretty good career path. Do you know if there's a lot of demand for that in your area?
As far as what I've been looking for, there is. But they're looking for different types of engineers too. So I think mechanical encompasses quite a bit.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Because like for instance, a mechanical engineer in like Huntsville, you wouldn't get as many open jobs as you would being like an electrical or software engineer. So you just got to be mindful of the area that you're in. That's all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great online portions of universities and colleges where you can do like the remote stuff, and you can get a degree that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do, or at least knock out as much online as I can. I'm not too far from Edwardsville, so I can go through Edwardsville and at SIUE and sign up there, and they'll probably have quite a bit of online courses. So,
okay, that sounds like a really good plan there, man.
Yep. And then for everybody else watching, for David, he's been in preschool since the beginning of October. He's enjoying it.
Oh, that's good.
Learning Halloween songs and stuff like that. So he's sitting there scampering around on the floor playing a little bit before we head out. So
he sounds like he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah. But all right. Well, I just want to say hi to everybody. Once again, thank you to everyone who's helping out. I got the funeral paid off and everything just this past Monday.
Oh, that's good.
So just a quick update on that. Definitely appreciate everybody. Appreciate the support we've been getting as we're still healing from the events that happened recently. It's good to have people to talk to and show that support. So thank you guys. You're all family to me, so.
Definitely, man. I consider you family too. So I'm glad that you're doing a lot better, at least, relatively. And I guess I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Say bye, David.
Bye.
Bye, David. And I hope both of you have a really good night tonight, trick-or-treating.
Yep. All right. I will talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Somebody's sitting in the wall. Somebody's sitting in the wall.
That David, he's cute. He's a cute little kid. All right. So we got another caller. All right. Let's see. Who do we got? Hi, this is Godless Engineer. Who do I got?
Hi, this is Sam. Is my audio okay?
Yep, you're good.
All right. Hi. Take this with a pinch of satire because I am British and pagan, but I would like to make a case that the Constitution is in fact based on the Bible.
Oh, okay. All right, let's hear it.
And this is literally me spitballing, so let's give it a go.
All right.
Now, was it the Declaration of Independence that started with the amendment of something about through God the government gets its power, which because of the heavily Christian society at the time would be presumed to be the Christian God?
I mean, I'm not sure about that. That's not a founding document or anything like that. That's just sort of a random letter.
I was going to say that
random,
was.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I not super familiar with American law, but I just kind of I was going to say, because I've seen that reference quite a lot, would that not at least imply that it was initially set up kind of by Christians for Christians sort of thing? And a lot of the legal stuff seems to just be a bit of the separation of church and state was keeping the state out of the church rather than the church out of the state, which I dislike personally. But
No. I mean, Thomas Jefferson in his letter to the Danbury Baptists made it very clear that it's a wall of separation between the two of them, which means that it's not like a one, like, you know, a two-way thing. Like, it's definitely the church can't influence the state and the state can't influence the church. So there's a clear.
Okay, I like I say, I am spitballing here because it occurred to me as I was calling that this was a thing to mention. But kind of the reason I guess I called initially would have more been to kind of I was going to try and do a Ken Hovind impression, but I've realized that's going to go wrong.
Let's see. The only mention of God. Well, let me settle this real quick. In the Declaration of Independence, the only mention of God is in the very beginning when it says the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them a decent respect to the opinions of mankind, that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. So it doesn't say what you had said before. So yeah, but again, it doesn't really matter what they said in the Declaration of Independence because that's not a founding document.
That's fair. I mean, I personally don't think that it should apply like that, even if that's how it was originally written, because it's another reasonable interpretation that it's not the case either way. So that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like I said, the Declaration of Independence doesn't have any kind of. There's a whole other government between the Declaration of Independence and our current government.
That just came out entirely wrong. What I was trying to express is that I do agree with you. That was me being satirical, trying to actually argue for it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I tried my best, but it just feels like a dumb take.
Well, yeah, it does kind of. I don't really think that you could make a fairly cogent argument that the United States government is based on the Bible, just because there's so much anti-biblical rhetoric in it.
Yeah,
you know.
No,
so.
now I happen to live in a theocracy, which isn't fun, but you know.
So which theocracy do you live in?
The United Kingdom.
Oh, is that a theocracy? Yeah.
So it's realistically it's run by the Parliament, the government, and it's similar to a democratic republic, but technically everything still has to go through the Queen, and the Queen can make any decision she wants in relation to any laws.
Mm-hmm.
And she is considered the head of the church, and the monarch has to be Church of England in order to run the country. And if they were ever a Catholic, they're considered naturally dead, which means they can never take the throne if they were ever Catholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, if you can cast suspicion that one of the royal family might be Catholic, that potentially puts them out of the running for being on the throne.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I'll have to look into that and see if and learn more about that.
I mean, my jumping off point for that was kind of CGP Grey has a video about that sort of. It was about becoming the monarch of England or whatever.
Right. Sorry, I was I'm sorry, I was busy looking into the question of whether or not the UK is a theocracy. I get how you're getting to it, but
it's technically a theocracy, but in practice it's not.
Okay.
And it does sometimes come out a bit though, because the government has a bit of an onus to push British values, which are quite a lot Christian values. It's the reason things like prostitution are still illegal.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's I didn't know that about the how the royal family cannot be Catholic. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was all the shenanigans with Henry VIII.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I appreciate you calling in and trying to, I guess, play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I gave it a go. is all I can say about that.
Hey, honestly, I mean that. I was sold on this being an argument from a religious viewpoint, because it kind of seemed like that.
Yeah, I just wasn't clear. Because I'm not always sure how things come across. Yay, autism.
Okay. I didn't realize that you were on the spectrum.
Yeah, I probably should have explained that first to get at it.
Well, I mean, I remember when you called in, you were like, "This is sarcastic," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I don't know, it kind of faded to the back of my mind that you said that this was all sarcastic. I mean, I didn't really take you as being a religious person, but I still I think it was a good try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pagan, so I am religious. I'm just not Christian or any sort of monotheist or anything.
Sorry, yeah, that one went to the back of my mind too, that you're a pagan. So
yeah,
sorry.
Sometimes these things just kind of slip minds. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, my only comment on me being pagan would be to point out that the ancient Greeks weren't mythic literalists. They didn't think the myths were actually true.
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't know that either.
And I understand why people presume that they did think it was true, because that's how all of the main religions in the world seem to act. But all of the evidence seems to point to the opposite for like the ancient Greeks and stuff.
I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that too.
Yeah, like Zeus was. Go on, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've only ever just considered like the very analytical sort of point of view of whether or not these things are true, and not like how the people consider them. But that's a really, really interesting point of view to take on it.
Yeah, because it's things like everyone will say to me, because I'm a Hellenist, the ancient Greeks are the gods I follow primarily.
Oh, okay.
Zeus is a predator, they'll argue for argument's sake. But the real thing was that in society, the higher up you were, you could sleep with anyone lower down than you and their wives.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So him sleeping with whoever he wanted was just the assertion that he is effectively the highest of the gods. And it's about I have a thing about divine inspiration that even if it is accurate, that doesn't mean that it's 100% correct, because the gods can potentially lie and humans are fallible. Things can be miscommunicated, because I'm not a Platonist, so I don't think any of the gods are all-powerful all good any of that stuff Christians insist on.
Okay.
So yeah,
Now,
it's different and weird.
Now, do you think that the gods are real, or do you think that they're mythical?
I think they're real. I don't think that they were like physical entities, as it were. As to how it works, I'm kind of agnostic on it.
Okay. But you do think that since you said Hellenistic, would that be Zeus?
So yeah, Zeus, Hermes, and honestly, from other religions too. I would personally grant that the Christian God exists. I just think that that's a trickster deity, at best.
Oh, okay. Like a Loki?
Sort of thing, yeah.
Okay. I could buy that Yahweh's Loki.
Yeah, and Loki seems to be, as far as we can tell, almost certainly a fiction made up by Christians, so that the Norse had an equivalent to the devil.
Oh. I guess I thought Loki was Viking. Or
Yes.
Norse.
So because I'm a pedant, the Vikings were like a group of warriors within like Norse and Icelandic and that kind of group of places. And so the Norse had Thor, and if we presume they had Loki, but the only evidence for Loki is in Christian texts.
Where Go ahead.
It's in Christian texts about Norse myths. Are the only reference we have for Loki, and there's no evidence of any worship of Loki except for one myth in, I think it was maybe in Iceland, where there was an evil entity called Loki that tricked the king into letting it possess him, basically.
Weird. Okay. See, I haven't actually looked into like Norse myth and Norse paganism or anything like that. So I literally have no idea about any of this.
That's fair. It's weird and complicated, and it requires reading.
I'll have to look it up. Do you have any good citations that I could look into?
I'm still relatively new to this, but I would kind of point you in the direction of Ocean Keltoy for resources, because he's a good person to ask about it. He's a heathen himself. Heathen in this context being follows the Norse gods.
Right. Yeah. No. I know Ocean pretty well.
Yeah. So I kind of most of my information about them came from stuff I poked him about.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to comment on something in the chat that a couple of people have said, I'm not confused about how it works. I can acknowledge it's also a monarchy in the UK. It just happens to also be a theocracy because the head of the state has to be the head of the Church of England.
Yeah, I didn't really push back on you about that, just because I simply don't know anything about UK politics or how the government's set up.
That's
so
fair. It's both, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, it was good to chat to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you were able to call in. I'm so sorry for not having like a toll-free number or whatnot set up. The only toll-frees that they have on this service is for the US and Canada.
It's fine because there's actually a phone number in the UK that you can call and have them redirect you to a US number, so I'm using that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until like last week.
Oh, okay. That's
when
really
I
cool.
Across it. So I just thought I'd test it out. Say hi.
Nice. Awesome. All right, man. Well, it was great talking to you. Great getting to know you. And I guess I will talk to you later, okay?
Yeah. See ya.
See you, man. Okay. Today's been a pretty good day. I think I'm gonna stop. Let's see, suspend new calls. All right. Yeah, so we've suspended all new calls because I do have to go here in a minute. What number is that? We want to harass GE too. Yeah, definitely. I got to figure out what that number is that you can call and have them direct to the US, because that's a pretty handy dandy number to have. So anyways, this has been a pretty good day today. I think let's yeah. Sure. Rick Rutten asked, "Who's Loki?" Loki is well, I thought that it was a Norse god of mischief and trickery and stuff, but I'll have to ask Ocean about it. Let's see if we can finish this video though, because I'm about halfway done with it now, and it's only been about 2 minutes. So we've got about 2 more minutes of this video. I don't know how much longer he's gonna ramble on for.
Why do you even care? If you're going to die, if you're an atheist, you believe that you're going to die, and this is it, and you're not going to remember anything. You're not even gonna. It's not even be anything to remember. You won't. You'll just be poof, like you're gone. Just like you're here, you'll be gone.
Yeah, which is why I don't care about the afterlife. It's why I don't focus on the afterlife. I focus on the here and now. I value my life, and other atheists value their lives. So I don't understand why, just because there is going to come a time when poof, I'm gone, I don't know why that has to mean that, my life means nothing now.
So if you win the argument, let's say this is true, then why should you care about anything else? Why?
Well, because our lives matter. Like, my life matters to me, my son's life matters to me, like, and my son's life matters to him, and Casey's life matters to her and matters to me. I mean, why do I care about what happens in this life? Because it's the only life that I have.
You asked about the good and bad and getting in political discussions and moral discussions. Live your life, because you're going to disappear, and that's it.
Well, yeah, but the reason why we have moral discussions is because we live in a society, and that's just what we encounter in a society. Yeah, Patrick, bro, I can't. I don't know if that's supposed to be Patrick, bro, but he says atheism is not nihilism, and it's true. Just because I'm an atheist doesn't mean that I feel like nothing matters in this life. So I feel like that's what he's kind of mixing up here, is the idea that atheism is somehow nihilism. Sorry, I'm ending the show. Confirm end. Atheism is just simply not nihilism. So there's no confusion here that about atheism and nihilism.
Those are the questions I have. So that's the question I have, and also, how can life come from non-life?
How can life come from non-life? Well, I mean, I get why you're asking the question, but like I said before, we have several experiments that show individual steps in abiogenesis. While we don't have a full picture of the process, we don't need a full picture of the process to know that it did happen naturally. I'm not the one that's inventing some explanation for, a magical wizard that existed before everything else existed and went snap or farted the universe out and then sneezed on some dirt and created man. Like, that is a magical explanation that doesn't actually explain anything. Whereas a scientific explanation actually does explain shit.
Species change, not only species, classes of animals change from another class animal. This guy I was arguing with, he was talking about reptiles become birds, and reptiles are cold-blooded, and birds are warm-blooded animals, along with mammals.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that comes with the changing of organisms. So, I mean, I get that it's a bit unfathomable to you because you're a Christian, and you have a very magical way of thinking about things. You think that shit just pops into existence from literally nothing as long as you have a magical magician to snap his fingers and do it. So the fact that birds did evolve from ancient reptiles that were huge and large, and scales turned into feathers, you can't fathom that because you don't have a magician sitting there going like that to create them.
Stuff. So why do you not think evolution is not a faith or some type of belief system?
Okay, well, for one thing, evolution doesn't have a dogma. There's no dogmatic evolution. The evolutionary theory is always in flux. Evolution has been proven as a fact just by the amount of evidence that we have to support it. Whereas most faiths out there don't really have evidence that support their conclusions. You have to, that's the whole idea behind faith. You don't have evidence to support it. You don't have any other kind of indication that those things are true. You just take it on faith, and that would be a blind faith. There are some people out there that have evidence that they say supports their conclusions, but it really doesn't. So
It's true. Then what does it really matter? Why are you trying to convince other people?
I don't. I argue against the bad information that is regularly pushed as the truth. That's what I do. So yeah, I feel like that's what I do, is I debunk bad information. Whether you want to believe it or not is up to you. I don't care if you end up believing in evolution or if you end up not believing in God, believing in God. It really doesn't fucking matter to me. I'm just fighting against bad information. Creo Debunk asked in the comments saying, GE, what is your best evidence for evolution? I mean, there's a lot of things that you could point to as really good pieces of evidence. I mean, chromosome 2 in humans, that's a really good piece of evidence. The fossil record itself is a huge piece of evidence that is kind of hard to argue against. I don't know. It's hard to pick out one of the best pieces of evidence for evolution.
Really matter? Why are you trying to convince other people? Why does it really matter? If all of a sudden I believe like you, big deal. You're trying to convince yourself.
Am I trying to convince myself, or are you trying to convince yourself? Because it kind of feels like that is the situation with most Christian or religious apologists in general. It just kind of feels like they're trying to convince themselves to stay in the faith, or rather convince other religious people of the same persuasion to stay in the faith, because only those kinds of bad arguments would work. Those kinds of bad arguments would only work on people that already hold the faith. They need to be reassured about the faith that they have and that it's the best explanation for it. But when you seriously look at it and you seriously consider the evidence, it just doesn't hold up.
Yourself. I really do. I think people are really trying to convince themselves. Because if you're really an atheist, why would you care? If you're a real atheist, you know, I'm dead, I'm going to be dead, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be gone. Why are you even arguing with people?
Let me fucking, hold on. Let me just turn this right around on you there, buddy. Because what's the point? What's the point in any of this if you're just going to die and go to heaven and be there in heaven? Now, I would argue that it's important for you to believe in Jesus as the only way into heaven and believe in God and everything like that. But other than that, what's the point for you? If you're going to die and spend an eternity in heaven compared to the short, vanishingly short amount of time that you'd spend here on earth, what's the point? Huh? What's the point for you? For me, I'm not a nihilist, because atheism doesn't mean nihilism. I value my life, the life of my loved ones and family members and everything like that. This is the only life that I have to live, and I might as well enjoy it while I'm here. Comparatively, we don't have that long of lifespans, so it just seems like enjoyment of my life is the point of life, right?
Your existence is going to be gone. enjoy whatever life you can, avoid pain as much as you can, and discomfort, because one day you're going to be dead and you're not going to remember anything.
I really don't see a downside to any of that. I don't know why you're talking about it like it's a big negative. Like, yeah, avoid pain and sorrow and enjoy your life. It's the only one that you got, and we're gonna go poof one day and explode into an ash pile of dust and shit. Like, I'm wondering, for you as a Christian or religious person, I don't know if you're Christian, for a religious person, what is the point in life if you have this eternity afterwards? I know what the point of my life is. I know why I value my life because it's the only one that I have. But where's the value in your life? Why does that matter? If you're just going to live a completely different and separate life after you die.
That's my question for you, for the atheists out there. All right, thank you.
Thank you there, buddy. I appreciate your video, I guess. Yep. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, crap. Look at this. I'm in the void. Now I'm on this thing. All right. Thank you, heathens, for joining us today. It's about time for me to go. He's not talking. He is snoring. Daniel M says, I forgot to tell you all the funniest shit I heard from my coworker. Definitely, I'm gonna have to catch up with you there, man. Anyways, I've got to go, but it was awesome hanging out with everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Osiris, for your super sticker there. I'm sorry I didn't say something earlier about it, but I appreciate all you guys coming out, watching the live stream today. If you will, go down below, leave me a comment with what you thought about any of the callers or anything like that. Let me know down below. While you're down there, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you want more call-in shows like this from Godless Engineer. I guess I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a safe Halloween night. Be sure to wear your masks and practice social distancing. Be very careful out there, but also have fun. And I will see you heathens later. Bye, guys. That's it. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, all that kind of good shit. Bye, guys.